Hey, there we are. Look at that. Screen works.
Are we starting now?
Yeah, I think so.
Welcome to
Fish Talk Live, pre-game show.
Pre-game
Yeah, definitely. Are we on the right page this time? I think
Sure hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, we had some screw-ups on the last one, but I think we're on the right channel today.
That's it. That's it. How y'all doing? I hope that you guys had a good week out there. It's another Wow, it's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks, yeah.
It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah. We took a break last week. Actually did my seminar. Had Lisa Fitzgerald with the CCA Star Tournament.
Nice. Go well?
Yeah, it went really well.
That's awesome.
Got a couple of people, late bloomers, signed up because it started the weekend before. But we got a couple of people signed up, and she was talking about the changes they had this year, which was nice. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's always nice to actually hear someone talk about the changes instead of you reading them, because a lot of times when I read something, I don't absorb it all. Yeah, so it's nice when someone can actually say it.
Absolutely, especially a lot more than a he said, she said. You got it straight from.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yep. This is the pre-game show, so you guys share the feed so you can win some cool stuff tonight.
That's it. That's it. Giving everybody a chance to get signed in, say hello. If you have any last-minute photos, I don't know if we're allowing that anymore, but I heard we got a bunch of them. It's been a good 2 weeks of fishing.
Yeah, I sent a couple of them in. Just woke up this morning and saw the post. I said, you know what? I think I'm going to throw a couple in. It's been 2 weeks anyway, so.
Right?
Yeah,
a lot of fishing in between last time we were here.
Yeah, there's quite a bit. So.
Had some gorgeous weather these past few days.
Oh,
Bluebird skies make it a little tough, but beautiful weather.
Yep. The wind laid down just a little bit, just enough to where it was actually comfortable. Yeah, it wasn't dead flat where it got so stinking hot. So it was actually pretty nice out there.
Yeah.
Past couple of weeks.
Those calm days, as beautiful as it is, that is a scorcher.
Oh yeah, brutal.
92-degree weather, no air movement.
Water temperature actually dropped a little bit the past couple of days.
That's what I heard you guys talking about. I like to hear that.
Yeah, we started catching trout. weird. Yeah, in shallow water.
Oh.
Yeah, a couple of them came in. We ended up doing pretty well on trout a couple of days ago. So I'm going out tomorrow, so we might do the same thing. I got a pretty big crowd tomorrow, so
nice.
Might have to try the same thing. Definitely.
All right. So I hope you all are signed in. We're going to get this show on the road.
Mm-hmm.
It's the moment when everything is on the line and precision, power, and control make all the difference. A moment over 20 years in the making, anchored on loyalty, trust, and support that goes beyond all expectations. A relentless pursuit of perfection. All born from a revolutionary idea to help you rule the water. Power Pole.
Welcome to
Fish Talk Live.
presented by
Us.
and
And
Ozella
them.
Keys Marina, Power Pole, and all of our incredible sponsors that we have. All right, guys, so tonight is all about the Silver King,
The Tarpon.
the beast of the pass, the migration wizard, the giant ladyfish.
It's just a monstrous lady.
Super cool animal. I tell you what, Billy. So I had my first opportunity to see it in full swing, fishing with one of our good friends at the marina and at the show and in life, Captain Ryan Harrington.
I bet that was a good time getting down south into his territory.
It was incredible. We fished on a very busy weekend. We did a lot of moving, but I tell you what, I've never seen so many tarpon in my entire life.
That's pretty cool. I mean, we get handfuls here, but to actually see real schools, I bet that was awesome.
Thousands on top of thousands. I mean, there was one school that was every bit of 500 to 1,000, where, you know, you're fishing like these deeper, darker water areas, and some of the spots, some of it was crystal clear on the passes and on the beaches especially, but these like deeper spots in these passes, and you know, you have everybody playing on the beach and hanging out and grilling and screaming, but then...
Oh, that was like the picture you sent us.
That's right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of things going on that beach. But then, you know, you're kind of just on the power pole move, trolling motor, and you're going around, and all of a sudden, the area below you goes from a big dark shadow, and then that dark shadow is moving, but the actual shadow of the boat's not. And you just realize you hit the honey hole. And some of the stuff that I learned from Ryan, you know, it was incredible. A lot of stuff that you never really thought about, and he definitely lives off of the theory to kiss.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yes.
You know, 40-pound test in clear water, 50-pound test in the murkier water. The one thing that you know, he really showed us was a long leader. I mean, I was like, hey, you know, are we doing 4 foot, 5 foot? And he went, 15 foot.
Holy
I'm like,
smokes.
I probably got to borrow some leader then.
Yeah, I didn't know you were supposed to reel the leader past the ice.
But we're going to talk about some of the techniques used for tarpon fishing on the Nature Coast Financial Advisors Tackle Table Talk. And then Captain Mario Castello is going to, I mean, that guy knows a thing or two about tarpon on his own. So he's going to be talking about that on the Ayinde Matthews State Farm Casting Couch, along with a local fishing report. But I think we got some videos from this weekend's experience with Captain Ryan Harrington. Let's see if we got those ready to display. And
Yeah, it's pretty cool getting out there into the flats and seeing the shallow tarpon, but I can only imagine getting into the depths.
it was insane.
Starting to see the walls of fish like that.
Here we go. So they had this one estimated at 120. It was like 124 or 123. They have some sort of girth and
Nice,
length.
They size them up in that direction. You don't just stick them on a scale and, you know, hold them up by the lip. No.
I don't know.
It's
When I broke the gaff out, everyone started yelling at me. So, but, I mean, just look at that thing. It's incredible. I don't know what that means either.
That's pretty darn sweet.
All
Big
right.
old fish.
Well, like I said, really cool experience. But let's go ahead and shoot over to Captain Mario on the casting couch and see what he's got to say about a local fishing report along with his experience with tarpon.
Love it.
Mario, take it away.
All right, we'll talk a little bit about the tarpon here in just a second. Fishing report for this week. Oh, let me go through. Let's see. We've been doing a lot of red fishing. That's kind of what we do in the summertime. But the redfish are on the outside islands like they normally are in the warm weather. Using a lot of live shrimp, using some cut mullet, using cut pinfish, live pinfish, depending on where you're at. Sometimes they work a little better. Little tip for you, I guess you could call it. We've seen a lot of sharks here lately, big sharks, like big lemon sharks, big bull sharks, medium-sized tiger sharks. They're whenever you start going around these outside islands or anywhere from Homosassa to Crystal River, any of these islands, if you start seeing the sharks, you're probably going to be in the right area, because I think these sharks have been following these redfish schools, and a lot of times when I see the sharks in one place, that's when we start getting really good redfish bites. A lot of these redfish are going to be on the small side. A lot of 16 to 20 inch redfish, catching tons of them. Loads and loads and loads of them, 30, 40, 50 of them a day sometimes. They have the bigger ones are mixed in. We usually get at least 3, 4, 5 decent sized fish in amongst the 20 or 30 small ones. So don't get frustrated if you're catching nothing but small fish, because the big ones will definitely eventually bite.
They're going to be in the know for the future stock.
Exactly. They're in the same places. Most areas you're not going to have, the different size fish mixed together. Most of these areas are, you're going to have the big fish are going to be in one area, small fish in another area. Not true here. Almost anywhere in Citrus County, you're going to find the school fish mixed in with the larger fish, and even the overslot fish mixed in with them.
So what's your primary bait of choice, Mario?
My primary bait of choice is going to be shrimp.
And how do you keep those little pesky pinfish from just tearing apart your shrimp before the redfish can get to them?
I don't. That's why I usually get 200 shrimp, because I go through a lot of shrimp.
Well, there's your answer, Scott. Just buy more shrimp.
Yeah, you just got to get twice as many shrimp as you would normally get. I usually get 50 shrimp for every person that's on the boat, plus an extra 50 when I run, just in case I run out. So, and I'm usually carrying 3 people, so
that's
I'll have 150 plus 50, 200. Sometimes I'll even get more. Always bait your pinfish traps and get a couple dozen pinfish to have in your well also. If you have mullet, I keep a rod rigged with a snatch hook, just in case we get into big schools of mullet, because fresh mullet's great for bait. Small chunks of mullet. We call them redfish jelly donuts. Works really good. Cut ladyfish works good for bait. Cut lizardfish works really good for bait. So any of that stuff that you can cut up, you want to keep it on hand, definitely. But shrimp would be my number one go-to for sure.
And if you're using pinfish, do you cut the tails or the tips so they swim kind of funky? Or
if you're going to use them live, I'll cut all of the dorsal fins off, and then I'll cut just a piece of the tail just to make it swim funny. If we're using them as cut bait, I cut them on the bias from the bottom of the back of the tail, and I cut all the way completely through the fin on the back, but on a bias, like a half of an X. What that does is it leaks out all the juices from the inside, and the pinfish stays alive for about 2 or 3 minutes and wiggles. Even though it's a piece of cut bait, it's still sitting there and it's wiggling, and that vibration will entice the redfish to come and eat, along with the smell and everything. So you can use dead pinfish also to cut up into chunks like you would ladyfish and mullet. But my bait of choice when I'm using cut pinfish is taking them live, hooking them in the nose, cutting them on the bias, and letting it soak and wiggle and smell. And
a lot of good information right there.
Seems to work really good.
You got any more questions, Scott? You seem to be taking over the thread.
Thank you, Scott, for the questions too. So. But we've actually, the water temperatures actually dropped down a little bit, and we've been catching a handful of trout in the shallower water, 2, 3, and 4 feet of water also. Water temp was 81 the other day, so any of your normal springtime trout holes, it's good to check them out if the water temperature's low. But we've been seeing a handful of them, so wouldn't be a bad thing to check. The tarpon fishing, now we jumped 2 tarpon about a week and a half ago. They were by accident. We weren't trying to catch the tarpon, but both of them came off of cut ladyfish. One of them was, I would guess he was about 50 to 60 pounds, and the other one was closer to 100. But they both hit a big rig with a big chunk of ladyfish on it, and was not meant for tarpon, but they're there. They take these, they follow these same migration routes year after year. So it just happened to be one of those migration routes is slap in the middle of one of my redfish holes, and we threw a rod back there, seeing the sharks. We'd think, hey, we might catch a hook onto one of these giant sharks, and sure enough, we had 2 tarpon come up and grab a hold of it. And we didn't keep a hold of either one of them, but they're fun to watch jump in the air for sure. So.
Absolutely, that's a big old silver flash.
Oh yeah.
So everybody talks tarpon and they talk poundage. When we talk redfish, we're talking inches. Mm-hmm. What's the difference? And how can you tell the poundage of a tarpon based upon what?
There's a length times girth divided by 800. So just say your tarpon is 90 inches long. The girth is 33. You take 90 times 33 times 33 again and divide it by 800. We'll give you the weight.
That's way too much math. I'd much rather just say, hey, this is a 44-inch tarpon.
I can do it on my phone. I'll take the guesstimation.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if I was a full-time tarpon guide, I'd have my laptop with an Excel spreadsheet going and be measuring it out correctly.
For sure.
Tarpon fishing, it's not for everybody.
It's a different breed of fishing.
It's not for everybody, but
Math is tough.
yeah.
You know what, Gary? Something, I don't know if you're going to get to it because I don't have the schedule, but we didn't talk about airboats.
That's right. So, Billy, are you seeing any tarpon on the airboats right now?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. I find smaller schools, maybe 5 to 8. I actually found one a few days ago that only had 3 tarpon in it. I would guesstimate them to be close to about 5.5, 6 feet in length. I don't know what that would be for weight, 80 pounds. Good sized fish. And the other fun thing we got to see, I think it was about a week and a half ago, I had our friend Brandon on board, and we saw a big explosion up against one of the islands out there on the reef. Thought it was dolphin until we got a little closer, and it was about a 10-foot hammerhead, which was pretty darn cool. And the only reason they're coming in here is behind them tarpon. It's a pretty cool sight. It's a little bit on the rarer side to be able to see in the flats.
Did you measure its girth?
It was big. It was something I did not expect to see. Definitely finding a bunch of redfish out there. Like Mario said, I do find a lot of the smaller cobs. The smaller ones are probably 16, 20 inches maybe. Very small handfuls of the really big redfish, pushing that upper slot to over slot. And I tend to find those ones at the lower of tides, running through some of the grass flats. I don't find them very often pushed up against the mangroves. Most of the higher tides, I try to leave that to you all fishing. But low tides, when nobody's around, I will go play up against the mangroves, and that's when I find the bigger ones. About 25, 30 feet off the bank playing into the grass flats. Pretty cool to get to see.
Heck yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't see any trout to speak of like Mario did, but wasn't thinking about looking for them either.
Well, I'll tell you what, while we're right here, the other thing that was going on this weekend on Saturday was the St. Augustine Florida Redfish Series stop.
Oh, yeah.
The final stop until the championship in September. So just a quick update on that. The boater results, so third place was Team Always Rippin' / Fish Bites. Team Florida Outdoor Experience, we got second.
Nice.
And then guess who got first place?
Who dat?
Team Tampa Fishing Outfitters.
Seems like we just saw them fellas.
I tell you what, those guys are hell of anglers. They got, I want to say they got second in that big power pole tournament over in Louisiana.
That's
Come
awesome.
back here and absolutely nail it.
If I'm not mistaken, would that put them at almost Team of the Year?
We're going to get to that next.
Ooh.
We're going to get to that next. So let's see, the kayak division, the kayak division, Chris Crago got first place.
Congrats, dude.
Jesse Rain got second. I don't know. I've never heard of this guy. Matt Lanier? Lanier? Matt something. Matt 8 rods in the back. Got third place with 50 inches total. And then another one I've never heard of got fourth as Carlo
Gutierrez.
Got IRS. Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations, fellas.
Yeah, Brian Neal, 5th. Billy Christie, 6th. Which all these, that's why I love going through, all of them, boat and kayak. But the kayak is like, it's all like one big giant family, so it's cool to see.
Absolutely is. And that's a lot more of a struggle of fishing right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give them a lot of respect.
Tournament too.
Yeah, they're going to do a go live like they did last year, which was a big success. A lot of people are really excited. So we're excited to see some more information on that coming up. So we're going to talk about the Go Live series a lot during the next episode next Tuesday.
Sweet.
When some more information comes out on it. And then you wanted to know, which I just lost it, the team of the year. Let's see what we got.
That takes a lot of work to get team of the year. Well, a lot of work.
A lot of
Be
dedication.
top 5, period. But
So team of the year sitting in first is Tampa Bay Fishing Outfitters. And then
that's awesome.
Matt Lanier is in first in kayak, I believe. Let me double check this.
Matt Lanier's a tough angler to beat.
Yep, he's sitting in first, but in second is Captain Carlos Gutierrez.
That's
riding his tail, riding that red tail. So that's cool to see. It's going to be a showdown at the finals, the big one in St. Augustine, in Steenahatchee. So.
There it is.
All right, well, hey guys, are we ready for one of our favorite segments?
Who caught fish this week?
Yeah, where we get to see everybody catching other fish.
Always ready to see
Let's
that.
go to the Extreme Decalz Catch of the Week and see what has been being caught this past week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks, yeah. Should be quite a few photos on there. There's a nice, as Bob would say, a big amberjack there. Brian Neal with a nice St. Augustine red.
Very nice fish.
Chris
Very
Chew.
nice, Mr. Chew.
Getting him to chew. Chris Dunnan. Nice snook.
Good snook. Wrong season.
Dale with a nice redfish. Big
So
old
is that a lady or a tarp?
Oh no, that's a tarpon.
That's a tarpon, yeah.
Sure looks ladyish.
That's a tarpon, right?
It is,
redfish.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Golly, that
So,
thing's ugly.
wait, can we go back to that last photo? All right. So I might have used that same size and the identical fish to catch our snook the other day. So, I'm just kidding. All right, let's keep going. Baby manatee.
Golly, that thing is monstrous.
There you go.
George Quinn. That thing's the size of him.
That sure is a big lady fish.
That's right under George's
Yeah,
sailboat
that's a
there.
big old lady fish.
Captain Aaron Hefty got 5th place in the Cobia tournament and first place in
Ladies side.
the ladies tournament for ladyfish. How cool is that one?
That's pretty sweet.
22 inches, I think he said.
God,
Lady fish edition. Congrats on that, y'all.
Good job, Aaron.
There's that cobia.
nice
Big
fish.
cobia.
There was some big
Was it
cobia
4th or
brought
5th
in.
place he got? Either way, good for.
There was some
them.
huge cobia brought in.
And that was not the best weather.
There's
Very
James with a nice
nice.
snook.
I love when the sunsets are in the background.
Yeah.
And their fins light up like
Good
that.
Lord.
Big old
Big
redfish.
redfish
Golly.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain
Black drone.
Jessica.
The drum is. Nice. Nice trout.
Good looking trout.
Told you they were around.
Another
Snook.
snook.
Where she kills the snook up there.
Yeah,
man.
she does.
She does.
mad mosquito outdoors.
Nice storm. I flounder.
Yeah, big old
Don't
flounder.
see a whole lot of those around.
Hey, there's one of mine.
It's a Captain Mario's
That was the day
client.
before yesterday. Yeah.
Look at that smile.
Nice. Happy kid.
Oh, yeah. Love them redfish. Look at the spots on that one.
Yeah.
The heart.
What a pretty day that was.
Lots of good redfish that day.
Stunning day.
Gonna have to start following Mario.
That's the dude that fell
I'll
in.
let you know
Tony
where he
Reed.
He fell in?
Fell in the boat.
Can
fell
we
off the
pause
boat.
that for a second?
Yeah.
Mario, go ahead and take it away with that story. 'Cause I wanna hear
Okay.
it.
All right. Tony was on. He's fishing. We ended up getting into a pretty decent sized school of redfish. Tony hooks this one here. We get it fairly close to the boat, and it darts underneath the boat like they normally do. I'm on the front of the boat filming because I'm doing some reels for my TikTok and Facebook page, and he's got the rod out and away from me, trying to avoid hitting me with the line, and he steps up to the one of my steps on the front of the boat, and he trips and falls overboard.
Oh my God.
But he's still hooked, and the fish is still under the boat when this happens. So he's actually holding the rod up, didn't get the reel wet or anything like that.
Wow.
And he pops up, starts cranking this thing in, and I got a really cool shot of that fish coming out from underneath the boat and like doing a semicircle around him.
Oh, too cool.
Yeah, it was a really, really cool little video. But we ended up landing it, and he handed me the rod after he grabbed the fish, and then he hopped in the boat and caught a couple of pictures. You can see he's soaking wet.
That's awesome.
And he
Made for a
cooled
good
off.
story.
Yeah, it was pretty good stuff.
Good deal. Good thing that hammerhead wasn't
It
there.
was on his birthday too, so that's
Happy birthday, Swirly.
Mike Dunning with a nice trout. Big old trout. Look at
That's
the belly
big.
on that thing.
Holy smokes.
Is that a trout?
That's a leg length trout.
that's big, whatever it is.
God.
Joke. Good
Don't even get it
fish.
done.
Killing it.
Oh, this is that Jacksonville tournament, I think.
Look at that blue. Holy smoke.
I bet that
God.
was a fight and a half. Whole screaming blue. Very nice.
Nice red.
Cruise.
Man,
Good fish.
so many
Reed.
nice
Good
redfish.
girth to it. Absolutely.
Reed Brown getting it done. Mm-hmm. Who? Reed Brown.
Reed Brown.
Reed Brown.
Why is the smallest fish on the stage? Good fishing.
Good deal. Well, that was the Extreme Decalz catch of the week. Some good fish brought in. So.
Absolutely.
You know, Gary, speaking of
Yeah.
decent fish, we're what, June now?
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah.
like 6 months away from the largest kayak tournament. And people are already starting to ask. Did we pick a date for that?
Oh, second weekend of December.
The second Saturday in December. And there might be a few little changes and additional days added into it as well. So
Oh, snap.
we'll be announcing that one real soon. Before scallop season, we'll have everything finalized and ready to start posting because we've got something cool in store for y'all on the Ho 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 Fishing for Dough. Captain Mario got to witness his first Ho 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 Fishing for Dough.
That was pretty awesome, yeah. I think I'd like to be involved in that one way or the other
Deal.
for every year from here on out.
As long as you could be here at 4 a.m. to get it kicked off.
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about kayak fishing it, Mario?
Oh no! Well,
He said, nope.
you know what? If I get the right kayak, I might do that. But, yeah, I'd have to get one that I
Has a motor.
don't have to paddle with my hands. If I can get one of them propelled ones where I can paddle with it with my feet, I might even enter one of those things.
Oh, that'd be
you
cool.
have to team up with Captain Carlos.
Just to let you know, Mario, Mike Dunning said he has a spare for
Oh,
you.
good, great. Can we do teams? We'll do
Tandem.
teams.
He said he has a single, but you can sit in his lap. I don't know why I said that, but. Alrighty, so let's hit a commercial break, and when we come back, let's talk about some tarpon setups and some other good-looking tools over there on the Nature Coast Financial Advisors Tackle Table Talk. Be right back. Alrighty, we are back to the Nature Coast Financial Advisors Tackle Table Talk.
Number one tool of tarpon fishing.
That's it. Yeah, number one tool. Helps keep you very patient for some tarpon fishing. You know, like I said, got to really do it full swing this past Saturday. Got to do my first actual guided tarpon trip, and thank God for Captain Ryan Harrington, because even though I was in my own boat and had my clients, I felt like he was still guiding me, because there's a lot to it. There really is. But you know, you got to have a good trolling motor. You have to have good rods, reels, good line, good tackle, and most importantly, good baits. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy, you know, each part of the day, Ryan has it down just like an Excel spreadsheet, but it's in his head. He knows exactly when you want to use past crabs, when you want to use, you know, ladyfish, when you want to use threadfin, those white baits they've had down there. So, you know, he knows what depth you want to set your cork at. It's a lot to it, but I do feel like it's something that you can go do on your own. You're not going to be as successful. I would definitely recommend taking a trip with Captain Ryan down in the St. Pete and Gulfport area. So make sure to check him out, Captain Ryan Harrington. And from there, you know, it's one of those things that it's a good day on the water. I feel like it's something that I could go bring Brody to do just because of everything that you see there. You know, the history behind Fort DeSoto Park, that was incredible. The rock structure out in front of it, the lighthouse, but just hearing Ryan discuss and talk about the history of Fort DeSoto was really mind-blowing. I didn't realize there was that much to it, so be sure to check that out. But the setup is real simple. Now, you know, as you can see with the tarpon, their eyes face up. So that's why corks are so successful with tarpon fishing. You want those baits to be, you know, above eye level for them, because as they're cruising through, they're naturally looking up. So that's why you see these corks. But you want to use something real nonchalant, something that isn't going to break like a popping cork, something that's not going to have a whole lot of noise to it, just enough flotation to keep your crab or your threadfin or your finger mullet right there above the eye level for the tarpon. And you know, the hardest part is really figuring out the trend of those tarpon to where you want to lead them. Because if you throw it right on top of them, you know, they're not necessarily going to spook, but they are going to be aware that they're trying to be caught. I mean, these fish circle Florida every year. Some of them 60, 70, 80 years old have been caught 60, 70, 80 times. And the other cool thing I found out too from Ryan is even though we were seeing schools of 50 tarpon, 5 tarpon, 500 tarpon, we were seeing single tarpon just cruise these flats. And what we found out why the tarpon are in the singles like that is because they had just been recently caught.
Interesting.
Yep. So so that was pretty cool. I mean, Ryan literally pointed down at one. He's like, "Oh, that's one that so-and-so caught, you know, yesterday at 3:32 p.m." He's like, "Yeah, I recognize that tarpon." But he swears that he's caught the same tarpon, you know, several times in his career. I mean, it's kind of cool, the trend on these fish. But anyway, this one here is a 50-pound leader. As you saw in that water, it was a bit on the murky side in that area right there. So that's why we had it at 50. Did a FG knot right here, as you can see, because you got to be able to reel it right through the eyelets. It's hard to cast 15 feet a leader, so you got to have something that you can reel right through it. Just make sure you double check and triple check that FG knot, because I did have one come loose. Luckily, it was not on a fish; it was on a cast, just because of how many times it got reeled through. So Ryan uses a deckhand, which now I see why he suggested it for me, and I really wish I'd listened to him, because that's just something, one of those extra details that's got to be checked thoroughly. So now the hook size. Everyone thinks because these tarpon mouths are so big that they need to use big hooks. They're big, but their brains are actually pretty big too. They're smart. So you want to use something small. A 4.0, I don't know if you can see that or not, Bree, but a 4.0 circle hook something that's 2X. So this one here is the, what's the hook that we have downstairs? The BKs?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the BK, there we go, my dirty fingernails. This is the BK 2X circle right here. This is his preferred go-to hook, Ryan. And I see why. I mean, he had thousands of them on his boat. The other thing I learned from him is that, you know, even if it's just an eat with these tarpon, he switches out the hook every single time.
Interesting.
Yep, because how dull it can get. He said it's got to be that laser sharp, you know, right off rip. And the other cool thing that I saw where he does is that when Mike, who landed the big tarpon that was in the video on his boat, they cut off all the leader and the hook, and they wrapped it up for him and put it in a cool little package and gave it to him as a token to remember it. So,
that's pretty cool.
Yep. So because that tarpon right there is too big to put in the cooler, so they wouldn't let him take it home. 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 reel is definitely preferred. Something with some heavy drag. We had these things. These were the 6,000s. I want to say this is the rod setup that we ended up hooking up on. I had this thing locked down completely. The 38 pounds of drag on it, and it was still peeling drag, believe it or not.
That's a big fish.
It's a huge fish.
That's a big fish.
Yeah, I mean, it was trucking. So this is the 6,000. I'd say in a perfect world, the 8,000 Florida Fishing product Resolute is probably the reel to go with. You know, we were using those too, but I just feel like if who was it? I think it was Lee that was fighting the tarpon on our boat. I feel like if he had the 8,000, it would have probably been a little less tiring for him because this 6,000 would have been put to the test. So, so I'd say an 8,000. And then as far as a rod, you know, you got to have something with strength, but you got to have something with length, which is most important because you have to be able to cast that rod out or your bait out, you know, as far as you can. So with a longer rod, you're going to get a longer cast. And I mean, the Bubba rods, they're really ideal. I mean, you can see how flexible they are. I brag about them all the time. They have not officially came out with this series rod, which is why I would not recommend going out to get it because you wouldn't be able to find it right now. But yeah, and then so you know, back to the live baits. This tool right here, super cool find. You know, I'm thinking we're probably going to start carrying these. Actually, I found it online and ordered it in to see if it would work. I've got a really big live well. You know, as Billy, you've seen it. It's if you put creek chubs in there, or you know, those little crabs, even shrimp, they really get lost. So
you almost have to drain the tank to get your bait.
So this right here was my plan to put the past crabs in, and that way I was ready to rock. You know, as soon as we found our school of tarpon, pull it out of the live well, easy access. It has these little weights on the bottom. If you could see them in there. There we go. Real thick mesh material. It's got the ring around the top to keep it open, and you know, super easy access to get inside of it. So this is a really cool tool. It does, yeah. It's got a good point. Yep, it's got the styrofoam right there. Good point. I'm excited to use this here because I mean I got to the point where I was tired of chasing shrimp around in that live well, so I just started throwing them in a bag, and you know it works just fine. But anything live is going to be a little bit better. So, but it's called a bait tamer, is what it is. So that's a 5-gallon bait tamer by Lindy. So highly recommended on it. And besides that, I was using 50-pound braid, like I do for grouper. When I got there, I've just one thing I forgot to ask Ryan on what braid size should I be bringing, and thankfully, that was the one he used as well. So, yeah, you know, I asked about throwing, you know, artificial, and, you know, he kind of said, yes, you can, but we saw firsthand live bait was the way to go. Absolutely. And the other thing that Captain Brian Harrington definitely recommends bringing on your boat is some older, expired, squishy oranges whenever you go tarpon fishing down in that area.
Interesting.
Yep, because people can be assholes out there. Good Lord. And when he said, I thought he was joking before we came. He's like, did you bring any? I'm like, no, man. You know, he's like, here, man, here. And he just opened up a hatch and he handed me some. He's like, you got to do what you got to do, man. You got to protect your clients. Got to make sure you know.
Get ready to pitch them.
So, but he also pulled up with a big giant unicorn pool noodle thing on the front of his boat, blaring music at 5:30 in the morning. So, but that's just the energy you get out of that guy. I want to go back down there and do it again. I mean, that was so much fun, just hanging out with him, listening to the stories about the area and the history about the area. So, Captain Ryan Harrington, thank you again for a very memorable weekend. That was amazing. So, yeah.
Gary, is there any certain regulations governing tarpon? Like, I understand we can't eat them.
Well, I mean, you can. You're not allowed to, but you can.
If you're going to keep one, you have to
pull
get
out of the water.
a tag from FWC.
Okay.
Yeah, they do have tags for it.
Yeah.
The other thing, you know, to lift it fully out of the water, it's got to be 40 inches. That's a very important. Yeah, 40 inches or less, correct. So, great question, John. It's one of those things when that fish, I don't know why they narrowed it down to 40 inches. You'd have to ask FWC. But, you know, the thought process is once it's over 40 inches, it's just too big to lift up out of the water, especially if you're grabbing it by the jaw. You know, you could hurt it. You could stretch its neck, you know, hurt its vertebrae. So 40 inches is the size, anything over 40 that you cannot completely take out of the water. You know, you can hold on to its jaw. That's the other thing, too, is a good pair of gloves. Like the Bubba gloves is what Ryan uses. That's what I have on my boat. Definitely you want a good pair of gloves because when you go to grab a hold of that tarpon's jaw, you know, you need a good firm grip, but you also don't want to get your skin peeled back. So, and then the other thing is a lot of people will pop scales off of them. Not recommended, and I don't believe it's legal either. I want to say there is a rule from FWC that says you can't do that.
I could believe that.
Bree said I should put this bait down, that it looks like something that I shouldn't be doing this with. But besides that, is there any questions? I don't know a whole lot about it. All I got to witness the tarpon master himself over the weekend, and he said feel free to share any of his secrets.
Can we use a treble hook? I feel like that's the only way I'd be successful.
Yeah, I mean, big gator hook's fine. I asked the same question. I asked if there was a recommendation for gaff size, and Ryan laughed. His Jake laughed, but the other 30 boats are around us kind of frowned a little bit. But
have you guys ever caught tarpon before?
Yeah, I've landed one tarpon my entire life when I was a kid in the Homosassa River. We should have found that photo.
Yeah, I think it was a behemoth.
Yeah. That was one of those like 180s or 190s that live in the Homosassa.
Yeah.
That was on a trout carcass too.
I remember y'all pulling it up, and it was as wide as you guys were.
It was insane. That was John, Mick, Galvin Oaks, and myself. Besides that,
catch tarpon?
Yeah, we usually land about 2 or 3 every year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a bycatch when we're snook fishing, but we still.
So Billy's really the only one who's never caught tarpon.
Technically speaking.
I think so.
I caught that one a couple years ago in Fish Creek on my little jumbo.
One of these days, I'll get one on my snatch hook.
When is the best time to catch tarpon in citrus?
now.
Right now.
Yeah, now up to a month ago, and they started moving in earlier than
Say
expected.
like middle of April to the end of May.
Yeah.
Is when I see them the most on my tours.
There you go, Dylan. There's your answer.
Yeah, see quite a few of them out there in those times.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Oh, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Oh, you should probably skip the full moon. In the summertime they do run offshore to do their spawn. The 3 days before, 3 days after, just skip that part and then come back afterwards on the quarter moon phases. You'll see them migrating up and down the coast, but we try not to do any tarpon fishing around the full moons.
Oh, can you silence it for me? But and I'll be honest with you too. I mean, Brody and I went and just drove around looking at tarpon a few weeks ago.
I caught one by hand once at Pete's Pier.
But, well, unless you guys have any questions. Is there any questions out there? Tarpons?
When are we gonna go chase them?
Well, let's hit up another commercial. When we come back, we'll do the Reel of Fortune.
Vagabond dreaming takes me through the night. Sipping whiskey by the river, living out of sight. 100 miles an hour in the fast lane. 100 miles an hour toward the light.
Sabalitos.
Any moment when the sun does come. 100 miles an hour in the fast lane. 100 miles an hour in the fast lane. 100 miles an hour till I'm done.
We're back. All right, tonight's secret question for a chance to win a pack of Maddox swim baits, some Yak Tribe paddle tails, these two awesome colors right here, and well as a 50% off coupon for a pair of BAJÍO sunglasses purchased from this store.
Oh snap!
Yep. So 50% off your next pair of BAJÍO sunglasses here at OKM. Pack of Maddox baits, and then 2 packs of these Yak Tribe lures, which we'll be talking about here soon. So tonight's secret question is, we didn't really say it on the show.
We did not. So y'all are gonna have to do some research.
Yeah, we have to do some research.
May take a minute.
Might have to bounce off and bounce it back on. But it is, what is the name of Captain Ryan Harrington's business? It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
So we would like to thank all of our sponsors for allowing us to do this every Tuesday. BAJÍO Sunglasses,
Oh yeah.
clearest lens on earth.
100%.
Abyss batteries. I mean, that was the other thing too, is having a good damn trolling motor battery. Because you're
To keep up with those.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Just
I
look
mean,
at
I
the
still
reel.
haven't charged it. You know, I ran the charter on Monday, didn't charge it before.
Nice to have that charge system that you have with it, as far as being able to run the engine.
Yes.
It converts the power and dumps it all to the back. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Power pole, the power pole charge, cannot speak highly enough. The power pole move, the trolling motor, power poles themselves. Power pole as a company, absolutely incredible. And then the Nature Coast.
Whoops. That was good. That was good.
Nature Coast Financial Advisors. Go see our boy Gary Marriage over there to get your financial advice. Let him set you up for the future. Cannot recommend him and his team enough. That one guy, what's his name? Brian something.
Sanders?
Brian Saunders from Extreme Decalz. Go see him and the crew.
These guys.
Yeah, these ones right here. Oh yeah, we have this whole board right here. I forget. Ayinde, Matthews, State Farm. You know, I mean, you need insurance in this world. Plus, you need someone that's going to look out for you after the incident. That's the biggest thing with insurance companies, in my opinion, is they're going to sell you on everything, but you got to find someone like Ayinde and then his team that's going to look out for you afterwards. The Florida Redfish series, best fishing series on earth. Marker 48 Brewery.
Ozello Keys Marina.
Bubba, Ozello Keys Marina, Submerse Outdoor Gear. All the amazing companies out there that help us do what we love to do.
Hopefully y'all are doing your research at the moment. Those BAJÍOs are not cheap.
Yep.
So that's why the question is what it is.
That's it. All right, so do we have all 12? No?
No, I'm still missing 4.
All right, so listen, guys, the answer is no bananas. No bananas fishing charters, so the first 12 people to
But
comment
Gary,
that.
that's debatable because you go to his page and
I just said the answer, though.
real estate charters come up.
I know, but I just said the answer. So the first 12 people that were paying attention to mimic it. No bananas. Everyone knows Ryan is Ryan Harrington, but I just love the name. I mean, and at all of his charters, he has socks with bananas with the no sign on it. No bananas. So the first 12 people to comment no bananas fishing charter is going to get a chance to win.
That's awesome.
Well, does he have 2 names? Because I have another
John,
one.
I'm telling you, his name is No Bananas Fishing Charter. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm trying. Thank God John's not trying to guess the answer.
I just have to write these names down.
It was a spur of the moment question.
Yep. We didn't see it coming either.
All right. And if you want to use the other one too, use the other one. It's fine. So Mad Mosquitoes said that Extreme Decalz is the best. They did an awesome job with the shirts. I would fully agree with that, my friend.
Yeah. Yep. Can't wait to get my truck up to him.
Can't wait to get all of our projects that we've been wanting to get up there. Probably start working on that. We should wait till 2 or 3 days right before scallop season.
Yes. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Make sure they're good and busy for it.
All right, we're good.
All right, so we've got our 12, Billy. Can I spin it?
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever spun this.
No.
I am going to go with Ayinde Matthews.
All
I
right.
think he's going to win.
Mario, what's your guess?
Florida Redfish Series.
John?
Marco 48.
All right, I'll say Abyss Batteries. No, Power Pole. No, Abyss Batteries. Oh yeah, Extreme Foam Decking brace head. So.
Come on.
Bubba!
Nobody wins.
All right, so Bubba would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down the line, John.
Steve Mizell.
Steve what?
Steve Mizell.
Mizell? Steve Mizell, congratulations. You just won some soft plastics and a 50% off coupon for your next pair of BAJÍOs right here at OKM. Thank you guys so much for watching Fish Talk Live. We shall see you next Tuesday.
Thank you, everybody.
Cheers.